Hey everybody, we are southbound. We have just left the city of Vilcabamba, which is way down in southern Ecuador, because right now we are driving straight for the Peru border.
We're headed there.
If you didn't watch the last episode, you don't know that we expect parts of this drive to be fairly stressful and fairly bumpy. It's supposed to turn into a dirt road at any time now. We don't know exactly when. We've been getting mixed stories. Right now, it's just curvy and paved. Cross your fingers that lasts for a lot longer. But I got a feeling it won't. That's okay, it's how we get to Peru. So let's go do it. We've come up on a pretty good rock slide. It looks like they're actively working on fixing it. And we just passed a bunch of cars, so we know that we will be able to get through here. But it looks like I can see a backhoe over there. They're probably knocking down the loose debris and then clearing the road. And y'all know Curt can't stand it. He's gonna go take a closer look.
The flagman just told me it's gonna be an hour before we can get through. And you can see up here the excavator swinging around, knocking around dirt. There's a bunch of rocks in the road. This is nothing we haven't seen, but the road is closed for at least an hour. And so the adventure begins. You want the good news or the bad news?
Well, it's open, but it's gonna be about an hour.
Yep.
Okay. So when we first got started, maybe 20 minutes ago on this drive, the Google said we would get to our campsite at 2:40. So Curt says this is going to take about an hour. Let's see if it calculates out right on the Google when we start moving again. Alright, so we thought it was going to be an hour. Looks like we're getting a squirt on through. This always kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. And it's sad that I say this always does, which means this has happened to us more than once on these Andean mountain roads. But here we go, driving through it. Wow. Well, the road is completely gone over here.
Well, that's why the push down.
Yeah, it filled a hole.
Big rocks down.
Whew, dusty. But we made it through. That was a big rock slide. And it didn't take near as long as the guy said, so that is really good news. We're still headed to Peru. We just hit dirt. No more pavement. We don't know if this is the end all the way to the border or if this is just a patch. But for right now, we're on dirt. One thing that is really good, all that dust you're seeing, this rainy season is over. And that's supposed to make this road a little bit safer.
But you guys should know, we just hit a dirt road, which we knew we were eventually gonna hit. We don't know if it's gonna turn back into asphalt or if this is it. But we still have over 4 hours to drive to the border. So it's potential that we could be driving on this road, like these conditions, for 2 days.
Well, that's what we've kind of planned on schedule-wise, just to be safe. Maybe we'll get a little, maybe we'll get a little bit more asphalt.
What's this?
We heard that there were spots that kind of came and went before it went all dirt. I don't know how long this will last, but we're gonna enjoy it. And one football field later, we're back to dirt. And then, oh, we're back to asphalt. Whoever said it came and went was definitely right. We are climbing up again. But this should be the very last Andean mountain climb in the van here in Ecuador. Once we get over this range, we're going down as we head to the border. Now, Peru is full of mountains. It's gonna be the same kind of driving. But this is the last time in Ecuador. It wouldn't be an Andean mountain climb without some clouds. We don't think we get super high, so hopefully we aren't up in this long. The road's still clear. Probably shouldn't have said that. I probably just jinxed us. All right, we come around the corner. And they're definitely building a bridge here, but for now there is no bridge. And we will drive across this little river. River crossing.
There's a little river band.
Close your eyes, hear the voice within, calling. Is every note got under your skin? Calling. You got the white knuckles holding on it tight, keeping your feelings bottled up inside, heading for a collision in the night. To really live, you gotta die. Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, come alive. Breathe in, breathe out. Look at the colors, colors, colors. Right. Moments pass, make this one count. Untied, you're so good at dragging yourself down. Why? Well, there ain't much time left to figure things out. Deep underneath all the laser, your doubts. There's a heart gone out of rhythm in despair. Hell underwater, fine for air. Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, come alive. Breathe in, breathe out. Look at the colors, colors, colors around.
We definitely just went through a rough patch. I'd say maybe 2 miles long of gravel, road caving in, waterfalls coming across the road, curvy, single lane,
Rocky, bumpy.
big drop-offs. But we made it through that. We're back on pavement, so we have not technically completely lost the asphalt yet. But that was a hairy stretch.
Yeah, that was a stretch, but I feel like it's probably gonna get worse before it gets better. We'll see.
There he goes, jinxing us again. Unfortunately, I think he's right. What do you think, Curt? Think we've hit the dirt road?
We're on a one-lane dirt road and have been for a while. We're climbing up. And I'll tell you, in addition to all of the other things we've told you guys about these roads, the mudslides, the bumps, the curves, the narrowness, the traffic, the steep drops, all that stuff. In addition, you just really have to concentrate the whole entire time because you never know what's going to surprise you. And also, you're just snaking back and forth through all these S-turns. So it's just really a stressful, draining process just from a concentration standpoint.
I would say the road took a turn for the worse. It's still not the worst we've seen, but it's gotten hairier for sure. There's a lot of mudslides, loose dirt, and single lane roads and bumps.
And there's no shortage of places like this where the road just, like it's washed out half the road.
Yeah, gone and down.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not the best road. We knew this part was
Not
coming.
the worst, but definitely
No.
not the best. It's bad.
Doesn't matter how small the town is, they find room for soccer and volleyball.
When they have a soccer game, they just close the road.
Yeah. Look at the views these people have from these little mountain towns. Wow. So this is the very last gas station before the Peruvian border. And we topped off where we camped last night, just on the slim chance that this gas station might not have diesel. And guess what?
They don't have diesel, they say tomorrow, but we likely won't wait around for it. We have enough to make it to Peru, but we've already told you guys, price is gonna be more than double, so.
It's a bit of a bummer.
It's gonna cost us a bit of money, but.
Not the end of the world. What's nice is we're almost to our camp. Nanner decided to jump up on the dash for the last few minutes of the drive. I think that's her way of telling Curt to stop this van.
Stop right there.
Well, the good news is, here is the town of Zumba, and this is where we plan on camping.
So it's 3:37, so we're about an hour behind
What the Google said.
what the Google said. 15 minutes for that roadblock, and the other 45 minutes for general bad road conditions.
Now, tomorrow when we wake up, we still have
A couple hours.
yeah, probably about 2 hours of this kind of driving to get to the border. But breaking it into 2 days was, I think, a smart move for us because we're wore out. Nothing glamorous about our parking spot, but we made it. We're level.
We made it a long white knuckle drive, and the kiddies are certainly ready to settle in, and so are we.
Yes. And if we feel like getting out, we're about 50 feet from the little town square of Zumba. That's the name of this town.
All right, we're out here doing a little exploring of this little town of Zumba.
There's the van.
There's the van right there. There's a military base we're parked right in front of. The town square, we just showed you that with the church and everything. And this right here is kind of the main little street.
Took an evening stroll around this cute little town, Zumba. And now we're headed back to the van because we got to get a good night's rest. Because in the morning we get up, we drive another hour and a half, and then we start border crossing into Peru. See you guys in the morning.
All right, we will. We're always careful. I love you.
Good morning. It's border crossing day.
Moving day.
A big moving day, headed to Peru. We are pulling out of the little town of Zumba, where we just camped right on the street by the town square, and it was perfect, quiet, nobody bothered us. The locals were friendly, even had some little kids come stick their head in the van. And but it's time to get out of the little paver bricked town back on the dirt road.
Country number 11. And one more hour on this death road that you guys have already seen, but...
And we've heard this is the worst part, but we're going in it with a positive attitude. Yesterday had some hairy spots, but nothing our van can't handle. Maybe my nerves, but the van did good. Let's go to the border.
So there is a new driver in town. This last little leg that's gonna last us hopefully less than an hour. GPS says we have 40 minutes to go. So far, 100% it's been a dirt, bumpy road, but knock on wood, and Snow's gonna get mad at me for jinxing us. But we haven't had any of those crazy drop-offs or anything like that. We know from looking at the map, we've got a couple climbs left. And so other than this bull right here, it's been pretty straightforward and simple. More stunning views. And as we're climbing in altitudes, the number of drop-offs on the side of the road is increasing. But what beautiful countryside. And I guess really this is time to say goodbye to Ecuador. And Ecuador, we've been here for just under 3 months. And what a beautiful, amazing experience. You know, we came in after Colombia and we're blown away by Colombia. Ecuador had some big expectations to live up to. So here comes a bus, and you can see he doesn't even slow down. The road's narrow and he's just ripping through here. But we're okay. But in any event, Ecuador has been an amazingly diverse country. It's a small country, but there's so much diversity. It makes it feel so much bigger. All the volcanoes, the beautiful birds, the selvas, the people, the food. There's so much to love about Ecuador, and we didn't even see it all. But guys, we are super excited as we near the Peru border for country number 11. I think Nanner's gonna sleep through it. I may have told you guys, but last night we stayed right in front of the military base here on the border. This morning we saw them loading the truck up, and now they just passed us on the road on the way to the border. I do believe there's a military checkpoint down here, so they may be headed to that. But anyway, we have a military escort. If you see right here along the side of that house, those are coffee beans, and they're being dried out here. And so this part down here is coffee country. And you can probably see up under the banana trees, maybe not. There's definitely coffee plants here. This is part of the coffee region of Ecuador. We've been here. La Balsa is the border, so La Balsa is 13 kilometers away. We are getting there, and Snow and I, again, I'm not trying to jinx myself.
The road is not that bad.
Either we've got ourselves so psyched up that this road was going to be horrible. Actually, I think it would be much worse in the rainy season. We can definitely see how this road would be a slippery, slidey, mushy mess. But we're in the dry season, and it ain't too bad. And there's the pothole crew up there.
Yeah.
And we've seen them throughout this, doing a good job of filling the potholes. So, pretty lucky so far, gotta say, guys. Not expected, but at least we were prepared for the worst. So we were just admiring the coffee that they're drying on the road here in El Chorro. Look at the little church in the little center. And all of a sudden, cows just came running down the road. What a cool little town. There is just coffee drying everywhere. You can see it kind of over there to the left in the fields. And that is wattle and daub housing right there. So if you guys see how the wooden pieces go across, there's on both sides, and then they fill that with mud. That's wattle and daub. We learned that at our farm tour. Wow, so cool.
Cool little town.
We're gonna miss you, Ecuador. We're gonna miss you. We have caught back up to the military, and they are unloading their gear, and it looks like we are indeed at a checkpoint or some sort of point.
Am I okay on your side?
Yep. We're gonna swing right around them, I think. It's not really a swing.
Let's go
We're gonna ease around them. We're good on my side. We got plenty of room on my side. And so the road's not perfect. There are bad spots, but I think over time we've gotten a little used to being on these roads. We've certainly been on worse.
I think that I should warn you. There's something about to change. We're standing at the border where history is made. We're cranking up the lights now so everyone can see. It's all happening right now. We're gonna make you believe. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get crazy. It's gonna be loud. This is our house. We do what we wanna. We'll blow the roof up. Everybody's coming. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to go down. We'll make the whole world hear us. So throw your hands up high. We're about to show you why they fear us. Here comes the battle cry. Here comes the battle cry. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get crazy. It's gonna be loud. This is our house. We do what we wanna. We'll blow the roof up. Everybody's coming. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get. It's about to get. It's about to get crazy. It's about to get crazy.
So we made it to the military checkpoint. We knew there was one gonna be there. We expected it. They pulled us over. Like on all borders, they check your paperwork. And like most borders, they're curious and they want to come in and have a look. And they did, and they were impressed. And they
were
left.
nice.
They were nice and left us some smiles. So yeah, we're getting incredibly close. We're 1 minute away, and that river down there is the border between
See you in a
Peru.
minute.
So it looks like we have to drop down. Oh, I can kind of see down there in the valley. We're about to drop down. We have a couple big S-benders, but there's Peru. It looks like a very humble border crossing, similar to when we crossed in El Ceibo in Guatemala. Very reminiscent. I do see pavement on the other side. That's a good sign.
Woo! We can see the border now. And we've done so many borders. It's prepping for a border and getting up to it. I don't really get nervous, but it still never fails. As soon as I see the border, I get like little nervous butterflies. And I don't even know why, just hoping everything goes smooth. But the border butterflies just kicked in. And just for fun, Ecuador threw one more crazy section of road at us. Whew. Goodbye, Ecuador.
Don't worry, guys. I'm not nervous. I'm fine. So, as is standard, we have to go by and turn in our tip, our temporary import pass from Ecuador, and also go to migration to, check out, basically check our passports, get our stamps of Ecuador before we go into Peru. So that's what we're doing right now. This place doesn't get a lot of traffic based on the conversations with them. We're already done with the tip. It took all of 5 minutes. Snow's in with migration right now. It looks like at most we're gonna be 15, 20 minutes right here on this side of the border, maybe not even. So small, easy, simple, everything's right here before we cross. So all good so far. We'll keep you posted. All right, we are out of Ecuador. It looks like this is the entrance to Peru. Do we stop? He waved us on. All right, so we're crossing the river. We're crossing the river.
No man's land. We're in no country right now.
Oh, yep, we're not in a country yet. And we are stopped right here. And this is where we go. This is the point of control, puesto de control. So here we go, guys. Let's see if we can make it into Peru.
First step, a little desk right outside of the immigration building with some chickens, where a guy checks our vaccination status. To enter Peru, you either need a vaccination or I believe right now you can come in with a negative COVID test, but I know vaccination makes it much easier. So it's just us and the chickens here. We are both checked in to Peru. Curt is in the aduana right now, working on getting the van checked into Peru. Everything's going smooth. Hope it stays that way in the aduana. We have been through some big borders. We've been through some medium-sized borders. We've been through a small border, but I think this is the smallest and most quaint, and maybe my favorite. It's actually quite difficult to video a border crossing. There's a lot of areas you're not allowed to video. We do the best we can, but the way this one worked, we checked out of Ecuador, very informal, very friendly, but went through the process. We crossed the bridge, we come to this gate, there's a couple of guards, and right over here in this building is the aduana. And that's where we get the temporary import permit, or a tip as we call it, for the van to enter Peru. Just behind this building we're looking at is immigration. So we go in there and we get ourselves stamped into Peru. So far everything is going smooth. When Curt comes back with his paperwork, they should open up this gate and allow us to drive the van into Peru. Now, Peru requires vehicle insurance, but crossing at this border, there is nowhere to buy it. The next town is 1 hour away, but they are not equipped to sell insurance to international people, so we have to go to the next bigger city. We hope we can make it there today. Likely we will not. In the meantime, it's supposed to be okay if we get stopped by the police and we tell them we crossed here and we're headed to the city to get insurance. It should not be an issue. So y'all keep your fingers crossed for that, because it's our only choice. They don't sell it here. They do sell insurance online, but only to people with certain types of resident and ID cards for South America. As someone from the United States, we cannot use the online form. Now, as for the cats, all of the online research I did, I couldn't find anything about importing pets temporarily into Peru. So far, no one has asked us anything. They have seen kitty cats, but I don't think there's anything we have to do. We do have their current health certificates and shots and their little pet passport book. So if we do get asked for it, we have the proper stuff, but I don't think there's an official thing you have to do to cross the border into Peru. A land border anyway. Thumbs up?
We gotta inspect.
Okay.
We got the stamp from Peru.
Welcome to Peru. Easiest border yet.
Oh, so easy. People were super nice.
Yeah, less than an hour.
The road sucked. But the people were amazing, and it's an asphalt road here.
And Curt doesn't know that I told you guys that we weren't going to have to do anything for the pets. That is not true. When they came in to do the inspection for the van to give us the temporary import permit, they did see the cats, and they did ask for proof of vaccination, which we had. So if you're crossing the border, make sure your vaccinations are current. There was no time limit, they just needed to be current.
And we didn't have to have the vet paperwork.
No, nothing fancy.
Stuff, so
just proof of current vaccination for your cats. And he took 30 seconds and looked at each cat, and we were good to go.
And if you guys don't know, Snow is always over-prepared, so we weren't supposed to have copies at this border, but we did for all our vehicle paperwork, and they used it, and I think it helps make the process easier.
Yeah, it was really, really a super cool border. Now, let's get to driving.
We're in a new country. That means we gotta do some stuff. You guys might be already used to this, but we've got to get insurance. They require insurance, so we've got to go to this town, Jaen. San Ignacio is the next big town where we'll go get money.
Yeah.
And the money.
Phone cards. Right now we have no cell service.
Yeah. So the money is souls. I think it's a little less than $4.
Yeah, 3.5.
4 souls per dollar, $3.75, something like that. Also, we got to check what diesel prices are. We got to get money. We got to get insurance. And yeah.
And we're on paved roads.
We're in a new country.
We've made it to the first real good-sized town in Peru. It's called San Ignacio. And whenever we get to a new country and we have to navigate the first decent-sized city the first time, it's always hectic and a little bit stressful. We have a few things we need to get done. We need to find an ATM machine so we can pull out Peruvian money, which is called soles. And we need to find a cell phone store where we can buy a SIM card that will work here in Peru. Both of those are kind of important because we can't buy anything without the soles, and we can't research or even pull up, current live map data. So Curt has gone out looking to see what he can find, and he's almost back. Let's see what he found out.
All right, this is going to be a lot more difficult than we thought.
Okay.
So they pointed to me where possibly we can find an ATM or a place to get money, and also where we can get the cell phone, but we got to go talk to them, and we need credentials, passports, etc.
Okay. All right. So do we drive up to the cell phone store,
We
or
go up here, take a left, take a right, the cell phone store, and the place they told me to go for money, possible.
Okay.
I mean, it's really weird. I walked into this bank. They have no ATM. It's all like
I wonder what this
very antiquated. I mean, I had a girl who walked me down the road to the place.
Okay. Buenos dias. Tardes. Buenas tardes. Good news. Curt found money. So now we're gonna eat. The van's parked right there on the street. And what about the Movistar, which is the SIM card for a cell phone?
They just closed the door. I think it's like 1. They don't open back up till 2:30. So another hour and a half. So we're gonna have to go to the next town and try to get a SIM card. All right, so I ordered the soup with my lunch. Snow did not, and I just noticed I have a chicken foot in my soup. And that looks like a chicken neck. So there's some noodles and potatoes and carrots.
This is the fried chicken plate. We got rice, a salad. Is that beans or corn mushed up, Curt? I think it's
That's
beans.
It's like a beans.
All right.
And I can tell you this salsa right now is super hot. It's probably garlic. That's probably garlic, not hot. But this one's
Hot, and you like that. So that's where we had lunch. We were able to connect to their Wi-Fi and get our maps downloaded to get to our next destination because we are going to be leaving here without cell phone cards. Here it is, our first time getting diesel in Peru. It is $18.80 per gallon, or 1880 soles per gallon, which means we just paid $5 for a gallon of diesel. Now we know most of you around the world have been feeling that pain for quite a while, but we've been in Ecuador where the president had diesel prices frozen at $1.90 a gallon. So this is our first big ouch. So we're a good half hour outside of that little first city we stopped at, San Ignacio. We have dropped down out of the mountains. We're at a pretty low elevation. I don't know what it is exactly, but we're following along a river that's kind of in a valley of these mountains. And they grow rice here. Lots and lots of rice, and they have bad roads here too. Ooh, this is a good one, Curdy. All right. Anyway, back to the rice.
They grow rice here.
They grow rice here. They don't grow good roads here. But we are about 2 hours from where we hope to camp, which will be in another city where we will be able to buy our insurance. We can't buy it just anywhere because we're international people. And hopefully we'll be able to get SIM cards there, which means we'll have cell phone service again. But in the meantime, Curt has his hands full with these roads.
We're driving along a river now. We're down, I think, around 2,500 foot elevation. So we've come down a long way. And we're in this valley driving across along the river, and a couple spots the river is just cut away at the road.
Yeah. We made decent time. We have made it to the city of, I'm gonna say this wrong, I'm sure, Jaen, Jaen. And we think there's a spot up here that we will be able to street camp. So first thing in the morning, we can wake up and go get our insurance and our cell phone SIM cards. But welcome to our first Peruvian city. They like their motorcycles and their little trike tuk-tuks. We have to figure out what they call those things here. A lot to learn on our first day in Peru. Our trusty iOverlander app has done it again. This is a perfect street camping spot. I even think maybe we'll get to walk the kitties. But we have left Ecuador, we made it to Peru, we're at our first campsite. This is where we're gonna leave you. Don't worry, in a few days, we'll be doing something a lot more exciting than just getting insurance and cell phone cards.
Can't wait to show you all Peru. Can't wait to see it ourselves. Cheers.
If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you guys know when we put out new videos. And don't forget, you can always follow us over on Instagram to see what's going on in between videos. Cheers, guys!